Biological female athletes have finally been vindicated after a years-long fight for fairness and equality, which saw transgender swimmer Lia Thomas stripped of her titles and a host of new rules introduced to stop this from happening in the future. The United States Department of Education under Donald Trump announced an agreement with UPenn citing the following actions. UPenn will restore to female athletes all individual UPenn Division I swimming records which were misappropriated by male athletes. UPenn will issue a public apology and statement stating it will not allow males to compete in female athletic programs. UPenn will adopt biology-based definitions for the words male and female.
The university will be sending a personal apology to every female athlete who was forced to compete against a man.
And under these new rules, Lia Thomas, the trans athlete that made headlines in 2022 for beating biological female swimmer Riley Gaines, sparking a wave of backlash, has finally been stripped of her titles. Riley Gaines was ecstatic over the ruling, but struggled to believe it, saying on X, UPenn has agreed to right its wrongs, restore records to the rightful female athletes, and issue an apology to the women impacted by the man they allowed to compete as a woman. Are pigs flying? God bless Donald Trump. She then doubled down, thanking the Trump administration for making this possible.
Man, I watched that video back, Laura, that you showed in the intro to this segment, and I cannot even believe that happened. All the while, so many sat idly by and watched and actually reprimanded us as women if we even dared to speak about this. To say that I, of course, am grateful for Secretary McMahon, for President Trump, for even Attorney General Bondi. She's been fantastic at the Department of Justice on this issue is an understatement. I feel vindicated. I feel like pigs are flying. I feel like hell has frozen over. So it is a fantastic day, of course, for sanity, for common sense, but I think more broadly for women, for humanity, for the little girl that I'm growing inside of me right now that I will welcome to the world in just a few weeks. I think of her. I think of her future. That is what Donald Trump and, of course, Secretary McMahon and myself, that is what we are fighting for. So very, very excited about today's news.
That's right. I forgot, Riley, that you're about to have a baby. This is like great news, all around great news. And I love days like this. Secretary McMahon, I mean, this is a victory for common sense.
And the U.S. Education Secretary, Linda McMahon, who has championed this at a federal level, says it's a win for common sense.
Patently unfair. And when you started by saying, Laura, that it flies in the face of common sense, it absolutely does. I mean, how can these young women be denied their opportunity for scholarships, for medals? And just they have to be able to enter into these sports and to feel safe. I mean, Peyton McNabb got a volleyball smashed against her face, broke her nose.
Oh, God.
And she had brain injury from it. Then we have other athletes, Stephanie Turner, who took a knee instead of competing, in a fencing competition because she didn't want to face a man. And, this is just unfair. I think we've righted a wrong today. And as I said, I certainly hope that this agreement that we have come to with the University of Pennsylvania is going to be a template to show to other universities what needs to happen so that they can get in line and make things right for our women and girls who are going into these sports.
Online commentators celebrated the historic ruling, with this person saying, "Congratulations on the big win, Riley Gaines. The tide is truly turning." But not everyone was convinced, with progressive liberals still backing the trans agenda. This commentator said, "Riley, with all due respect, you owe your entire career to Lia Thomas. You've been able to manufacture rage on a national scale and turn it into a life for you. Without her, you would have already been forgotten after a mediocre swimming career. Prove me wrong." And despite UPenn pushing a largely progressive agenda in line with other educational institutions, it seems the unlocking of $175 million of funding from the Trump administration, which has been frozen for months, was enough of a motivation to come to the table. Former UPenn athlete Paula Scanlan hopes that UPenn is just the first of many universities to take accountability and change their stance on the issue.
But what I will say, though, is it shows some level of accountability. So whether or not the University of Pennsylvania agrees with it or truly believes what they're saying, it shows that there's this starting accountability here. And other schools will say, well, wait a minute. If the University of Pennsylvania made the decision to bend the knee, come to the negotiation table with the Trump administration, what are we missing here? Are they onto something? Should we do the same thing? And it'll really start that process of getting some of these other institutions to start thinking about these things. Again, I think the most fascinating part about all of this is the difference between Harvard and Penn. We're really seeing the tale of two Ivy League schools going on. One that's saying, yes, Trump administration, you got it, we'll do exactly what you say. And Harvard, who's saying, doubling down on their stances on a lot of the things they've gotten in trouble for, and just continuing to just say, no, we're always right, we've always been right, screw you.